Hi everyone. If you are planning to join PhD or you want to change your supervisor or simply want to explore the research field, then I think this video is for you. We spend most of our time thinking about which research topic we should choose, but rarely we spend time thinking about which supervisor we should choose, which we are going to spend almost 4 to 5 years of our career. If I introduce myself, I am Ankita from IIT Madras. I am currently doing my PhD in electrical department. And here are some of my personal take on how to choose a supervisor or how to find out your work environment or your supervisor before joining the research lab. Number one point, investigate their research and not their reputation. The first thing that as a student we do, we Google about the professor in Google Chrome or other browser. We read about their university profile, about their articles, and also the awards that they have received. But the first thing as a student you should do before choosing a supervisor is to go to a open source like Google Scholar, enter their name, and when you will be entering their name you will get a ton of research papers, whether conference paper, journal paper, thesis. Then start out checking their recent paper. For example, if you are applying for PhD in 2026, try out to check how many papers or what papers have been published in 2024, 2025. And from there ask yourself question, does this topic interest me? Will I be able to spend 3 to 4 years of my life working on that topic? Does this research question excites me? You doesn't need to understand everything technically or everything in detail. You can just read the abstract, introduction and conclusion, and you can make a understanding that whether this topic aligns with my work of interest or not. Many university make them online theses. They will be available online. You can read out the thesis of a PhD student or MS student. They will give you a clear picture that what are the skills you might need to work under that particular professor, that particular lab. Point number two, talk to a current or formal students. This might be the most important step of all. Some of you have reached me out from YouTube or Instagram, but the best thing that you can do is go to the Google Scholar. In the Google Scholar, you will get the list of name of the students as first author, second author. All of those are mostly research or PhD scholars. So you can get their Google Scholar link or also email ID. Now, what are the questions you should ask a formal student or a student who have recently have graduated? You can ask question like, is the supervisor accessible? Does they provide regular feedback? How do they communicate? How is the environment of the lab? Is it toxic or competitive or supportive? Do they support their student during difficult periods? And also, what approaches or what does the professor do when times get tougher for a particular student? For example, he or she is facing difficulties. Remember, a famous professor is not always a good professor. uh, need to be a good supervisor actually, because those who are very academically successful, they will be having thousand more jobs. They will be academically burdened, they will be traveling, they will be managing funds, they will be managing directors, and thus they have many more things to do apart of only concentrating in you or any particular student for their research topic. So it's always better to reach out students who are already working under him. Point number three, evaluate their personality. Now it's not easy to know about someone's personality unless and until you meet them online or from third person. Getting an image of how that person is, it's not an easy job. So for that you can arrange a meeting, a informal meeting or formal meeting with the professor who you have shortlisted thinking to join. Now there are certain questions that you can pay attention. Do they listen? How do they communicate? Do they genuinely seem interested in students? How are they approachable? And also it depends on the student. If you are someone who can thrive under pressure, then maybe the professor who keeps a very close supervision is good for you. But if you are someone like free, you want to do a whole week of experiments, and maybe in the next weekend you want to have a meeting and you want to be independent, then maybe the professor who have the independent mindset of giving their students time will be the best for you. For that you need to communicate with the professor, you need to have one-to-one meeting and conversation. That will be the best way to find out about the professor, a part of knowing him from any third person. Point number 4, check for compatibility and expectations. Now, as you are choosing a supervisor, the supervisor will also want a PhD student under him who will make him famous or make him renowned. So, for that, it's better to have a talk with your supervisor regarding what they expect from their PhD student, how often they will meet their student, do they prefer close supervision or independent supervision, what does success look to them in the lab, how they celebrate it, or what does the professor want as an outcome from you. For example, you want regular guidance but you also expect a complete independence, so does that value matches with your supervisor is also important. Another thing, also discuss your career goal, because the person, the supervisor that you will be working under, he is in your field for 10 to 15 years and he will be the best person to guide you whether you should go for industrial job, you should go for academics, you could start up, and all those things is better to be discussed before joining the journey. Point number 5, do not ignore your co-supervisor. Your co-supervisor, you can think of it as an insurance, because if your supervisor is quite busy, you can ask for your co-supervisor for help. Now, while choosing a co-supervisor, think that it will be better if they have different expertise than your primary supervisor, so they can bring different skill set to the table, their availability, and also a different personality. For example, if your primary supervisor is someone who is very busy in their field traveling, then go for a supervisor, primary like co-supervisor, who is much early in his career and they are staying in the campus, they are much invested to know about the student success. I have another bonus tip that I personally felt I want to share. There will be two type of professors. One will be who is already very established, like he's been working in his field for many years, and that person will be quite busy, both in research work, both in managing academics. Some of them might have companies, some of them will be managing other people, so they will be very difficult to get a one-to-one talk with them. On the other hand, there will be professors who are very early in their career and they will be dependable on the students also, so that they can rise in their career. Also, the students are obviously dependent on supervisor. So I think in some cases getting a early professor who have joined like new professor is better in compared to a someone who is quite already senior in his field. But at the same time, what I feel, this professor who is quite older or quite experienced already in his field will have much better connection, and that will perhaps will help you after you are done your PhD for a job referral or for an interview referral or anything. But for the early joining professor, maybe that connection will be lacking, funding may be good, so both of them are sort of I don't know, you need to check it out which one you prefer. Maybe the combination of both, that is a co-supervisor and primary supervisor, or co-supervisor and primary supervisor, can be the best option. I think so, that is what I think. A part of that, I will end this video here. And some of you will be joining PhD in IIT Madras also. Some of you asked me personally the questions. So I am from electrical department, and that also instrumentation and sensor. I can help you in that part, but I have no idea regarding how the professors are from other sub branches. So it's better you check out the Google Scholar, check out the professors, check out the students, and connect with them. Till then, bye bye, and do subscribe my channel. Thank you.